My name is Ian Asio. By the time you're seeing this video, my YouTube channel will be 10 years old. Today is currently January 1st. I don't know if you can see that. January 1st, 2025. In April of this year, my YouTube channel will be 10 years old. I will have created this YouTube channel 10 years ago, which is a lot to think about. I think this will be one of the most personal videos I've made in a while, so come along for the ride. So looking back on 10 years of this YouTube channel is wild because it feels like I've just started, but also it's 10 years old. But let's start at the very beginning, shall we? My YouTube channel was not always called Ian the Music. For a little while, it was called Ian of Destiny. Please don't ask why. I still have no idea why I called it that, but I did. It was 10 years ago. What's strange is that I always pictured myself doing something creative. I loved making things. I loved writing songs. I loved making silly little videos with my friends. I loved writing. I loved sharing. That was one of the big things about doing all of this, was that I enjoyed connecting with people. I like hearing people's stories. I like hearing what people have to say about the things that I'm doing. And I like making things for me. A lot of the songs that I've written were for me because I like to write, and I just have a lot of energy creatively that I want to get out. There came a point around 2019, 2020. I want to say it was before 2020 happened. It was around the time of my Banana Pancakes cover, which was a long time ago now, but not 10 years ago, which is wild to say. But it was around that point that I realized truly how powerful the internet can be. I think realizing that after graduating high school, going into college, studying music industry arts and then audio post-production, realizing that the internet as a tool for, I don't want to say success because that sounds kind of wrong, more of a tool for sustainability is what my goal was, or I guess what is my goal now. Around the Banana Pancakes cover time, I realized that what I wanted to do was share music, talk about music, create music, release music, make videos about music, and even on Ian the Music Live, make videos about not music and just put other stuff over there. If you don't know about that YouTube channel, go check it out. There's some really dope stuff over there that I'm very proud of, but it doesn't fit on Ian the Music because it's not music, if that makes sense. But I knew that Ian the Music was about music, and it's about sharing music, and it's about my music, and it's about talking about music, and it's about everything like that. And around that time, I realized that that's what I wanted to do, even if it's going to be hard. I'm kind of like at a loss for words, truly, on what to say about the beginning of my YouTube career, because I don't really consider it a career right now. I don't think of YouTube as a full-time job. I don't think of music as a full-time job right now because I can't sustainably do it. I'm not earning any income off of the videos that I'm making. The only income that I earn right now is from streaming, which is great, but I don't stream all the time because I'm still in school. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. I'm a big fan of quality over quantity, and I've been really striving to get that quality better and better and better. I could definitely post a ton of stuff, but I don't really want to do that. I'm a big fan of posting things that I think are good. They may not be good looking back on them, videos that I've posted 10 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever, may not be the best compared to the quality that I have now, but they were still the best quality that I could give at that point, which I think is really important to note. That's also why I have a lot of my old videos still public. A lot of them, not all of them. There are a ton that are privated for good reasons. Mostly cringe. I think in reflection of 10 years of this YouTube channel, you can definitely see the quality of things increase. Maybe not the quantity of things. I'm not the most consistent uploader, but who can be? Who wants to be? But for me, it's about the quality of things, because that quality means more quality sharing or quality opinions or clarity on opinions and things like that. Like better scripts, better writing, better whatever. I created this YouTube channel 10 years ago, and I'm definitely not the same person I was 10 years ago, thankfully. I don't think any of us are, which I think is good. I think people should be allowed to grow and change and learn from their mistakes, as long as they make the actions to be better. 10 years ago, I was a completely different person. I was in high school, but also that person is still inside my soul, my body, my mind. The things that I've learned from that person, I wouldn't trade for the world. It's like that one Doctor Who quote. We all change, just so long as we remember all the people that we used to be. There are so many YouTubers and content creators and musicians and people that I've been watching for so long that I look up to and want to do very similar things. Not the exact same thing, because I'm me and I'm not them and I can't do the exact same thing that they do, but similar things. Things in my own way. Things from my own head. Things from my own inspiration and stuff like that. I'm me, but I'm also everything that has influenced me, my friends, my family, and all the things that have gone wrong and will go wrong, and all the things that have gone right and will go right. I am a watercolor painting of everything that has happened and everything that will happen. Everyone in their own life weaves their own tapestry. Every thread is a day, every fabric a different season. 10 years this YouTube channel has been a part of that tapestry for me. I would love for it to become something that is sustainable and livable for my future. Everyone who I've talked to about what I want to do in life, what I want my career to be, always asks, how do you make an income off of what you want to do? And I never know what to tell them. What I want to do is make music and make videos about music, and videos about other things as well, like Light Strike and Risk. I love talking about music, the subject, but also music as a idea, as a relation, as a practice, as a feeling, as a connection, as a social communication, whatever. I love talking about that. That's what I want to do. But to be sustainable at that, to be livable at it, for it to be a career is really, really hard. I'm very proud of what I've done. I know there's a lot more coming. I think every artist and every content creator has said big stuff is on the way. I'm not going to say big stuff is on the way, because it's just going to be more of the same stuff, but progressively better and more quality and better production value and maybe better scripts. This isn't scripted, so this is why it's a bit rambly. I feel that I'm just starting now to put out some of my best stuff, to write some of my best songs, to work on some of my best music, to work on some of my best videos or stream ideas or anything like that. And yet I'm hit with this 10-year anniversary mark. I feel like 10 years for me is, here we go. Now let's start. I heard it said somewhere that the death of joy is comparison. I think that's a battle that I face sometimes. Hello. Today is Saturday, February the 8th. So that really goes to show how often I'm actually able to record things. I'm lucky enough to have my schoolwork done so I can do this. Anyway, there's a lot that I can say about 10 years on YouTube, but I think a really good podcast that you should listen to start off is the Shut Up, I'm Talking podcast with Dan and Phil and TommyInnit and Jack Manifold. I think that podcast really encapsulates a lot of the duality that we're seeing on YouTube in, the current day and age, in the current time, the attitudes of a lot of content creators and people towards this space. A lot of my feelings are reflected in that podcast, and I think that podcast does a really good job of explaining sort of the perspectives between what people consider old YouTube and the newer generations and how they interact and, how boundaries have changed for the better, I would say, and all of the things in between. And touching upon boundaries for a second, I think that it's really beneficial to creators and musicians that we've seen boundaries become more and more important for people and for creators and musicians. I think of Chapel Roan speaking up against the photographer that was yelling at her on the red carpet. I think of the way that Dan and Phil have approached things. So go listen to that Shut Up I'm Talking podcast. I'm going to link it in the description just so you can jump right to it, but it's a really, really good chat. In the first part of this video where I mentioned that I could upload a bunch of things, what I mean by that is I could totally just record on my phone for a minute and do truly nothing and upload it. Just sit here, say hi, and then upload that video. But that wouldn't make me feel good. And what my goal is, as I guess a content creator, if we're talking about 10 years on YouTube, just to make fun videos on this YouTube channel and on iainthemusicLIVE, and to write songs that people will listen to and enjoy. I think 10 years of this YouTube channel, for me right now, Saturday, February 8th, is really drawing attention to the passage of time, mostly, where I feel like I've done a lot, but I feel like I'm just starting. I feel like I'm just about to get the ball rolling, and the snowball is about to roll down the hill and gather more snow and become larger. But what's really odd is that I don't know more steps that I could be taking to improve that rolling of that ball. Partially because I'm balancing content creation, making music, and being in school. I'm getting a double major in popular music studies and social justice and peace, and that takes some time. But at the same time, I still want to be writing songs and making videos. I mean, it took me so long to be able to have enough time right now to record this section of the video. It's a month and a week from the last time I recorded for this video. So where I'm at right now is I'm only able to do what I can, and what I can is not a lot. I'm at a crossroads between what I want to make, how long it's going to take me, and school. And for me, a boundary I've set for myself is not appeasing the algorithm. There's a lot of people who have talked about the 10-year grind, where they grind for 10 years and upload a video a week or every other day or whatever that process looks like, and then make it and then do whatever they want to do and change their schedule or whatever. A boundary for me, and this may have been a detriment to the growth of my YouTube channel, but I don't really like to think about that as if it's a business. A boundary for me was not appeasing the algorithm, because the algorithm is never satisfied. It's never going to be happy with what you upload. It's always going to want you to upload more or post more or threads more or blue sky more or whatever. It's always going to want you to upload something. So that grind that people talk about is something that is beneficial for those who are able to do it, and those who are able to do it should totally go and do it. But for others, and for me specifically, I don't have that ability to grind for 10 years, but I still like to create things, and I want to be able to do that more often. I want to be able to upload a more consistent rate. I know over the summer last year, I was uploading a video every other week and streaming twice a week and uploading shorts here and there and doing all of those things, and I really enjoyed that. I released an EP and I was doing all of these things, but I know that I was going back into school and I couldn't maintain that throughout the semester. I really try to stay hopeful. I think that's one personality trait that I try and hold on to with all my might. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now that really stress me out and get me down. I talk about them a lot in class, and they are very heavy topics and very real topics. And trying to create in that heavy atmosphere is really difficult. I don't think it's a radical thought that people should have food, water, shelter, electricity, clothes on their back, food in their stomachs, a thrivable wage. I'm not saying everyone needs a yacht, but I'm saying that people shouldn't worry paycheck to paycheck. I really care about people, even if I don't know them. There's some very interesting personality traits that I have that sometimes conflict with each other, like my attention on the world and the forthcomings of everything that's going on, and also the desire to escape it all. There's a part of me that really agrees with what Tommy and what Ethan Nestor have said when they talk about the internet getting worse. I think we see a lot more people be brash, offensive, entitled, mean, nasty, whatever you want to say, towards people because of certain decisions that have happened in the world that enable things of negativity to be thrust into the spotlight, let's say. Again, if you haven't seen it, the podcast Tommy and Jack Meet Dan and Phil is truly an amazing podcast that you should really watch. It'll be linked in the description. And then on top of that, there are 2 other videos that I'll link down there, one by TommyInnit and the other one by Nestor, that talk about the internet getting worse. And I genuinely agree with them. I think that they have valid points, and especially from the size that they are. They have valid criticisms about the way that things are handled and things are done. At the same time, I also think there's so much good out there, and I have to hold on to that hope that that good out in the world will prosper over some of the negativity that's going on right now. I have to hold on to that hope, because if I don't, then I will fully collapse. When people talk about the internet getting worse, I think people are more talking about the fact that the internet and YouTube and these cultures of creativity and niche videos and Minecraft and whatever it is are now becoming not safe havens from escaping the rest of the world, but incorporated into the culture of the world. It's really easy to get bogged down on all of the negativity because it's so prevalent for certain places in the world right now. And I think that's more reflective of the world entirely, as opposed to just the internet. I'm Canadian. I do not want to become the 51st state. Just putting that out there. I want to bring some happiness into the world, and I think that's what a lot of creators originally started out with. I think leading with empathy and kindness and a positive attitude in everything that you do and everything that I do is really important, because then it counteracts a lot of the negativity that we see on the internet. I really try to lead my life with empathy and caring for someone that I may know nothing about. I hope for my own career. I hope for the ability to do what I want to do in life. Make music, make videos, stream. I think, especially nowadays, holding on to hope may seem fruitless, but has to be done. You can't lose hope. Something that someone said to me, I don't know if it was in high school or in passing or whatever, that's really stuck with me, is that someone said, "Ian, you really don't know how to finish your sentences." Oh boy, which is true. If you watch me on stream, that's definitely happened before, where I just kind of trail off into ums and ands and you knows. But a lot of that comes with me wanting to make sure that what I'm saying comes across as clear and as precise as I meant it to be. I want to make sure that I'm clear in how I'm saying things so that you understand what I mean by what I say. It's probably really clear to you if you see any of my social medias, but I'm not really a trend follower or a trend setter, partially because I can't keep up sometimes, partially because I like just observing the trends, and sometimes they don't even apply to me, and sometimes I'm like, this trend is kind of odd, and just move on. And that's no dig or shade on trends. I think trends are important and fun and whatever. It's so not that deep. But I think, especially with the advent of TikTok in the music industry and content creation industry is like a whole other video that would be really interesting to talk about. Like TikTok and the music industry is probably a video that's out there, but I would love to talk about it even still, but just gonna put a pin in that and save it for later, maybe. I think there's a really interesting use in trends for people to use them and have their songs blow up or their videos blow up, and then they have their moment in the spotlight and the opportunity to turn it into something that's a bit more long-term. But for me personally, I never was the type of person to follow a trend, even in elementary school. I never was the first on the bandwagon of some trend that was going around, or I was always late to the party for things like that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, nor is it good. It's just not who I was. I'm not a person who really follows trends. There's a part of me that thinks maybe I should, maybe that will get the ball rolling even more. But then there's the other part of me that goes, that's not authentically who you are. I just want to be me. I like being myself. I don't really want to be anyone else. Unless I'm like acting, but then I'm acting, but you know, I want to make things that are authentically me or rather authentically the person that I'm sharing. I've had a bunch of classes where we talk about persona in music and persona songs and character songs and writing from a point of view that isn't your own. I've definitely done it. I think of Lighthouse off of someone's journal where that is from a perspective of someone that isn't me. But at the end of the day, it still feels authentic to who I am. You are seeing Ian Azio from Ian the Music. You're seeing me, but also the person who I have presented you with. The clips and parts of the video that I have selectively chosen for you to see. You're not seeing the pauses between sentences where I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say, or the fumble of words where I don't know how I'm going to end the sentence or anything like that. You're seeing the person I have chosen you to see. For me, part of that person is who I am. It's authentically me. But there's also a part of me that I don't want you to see. Like, I don't want you knowing my social insurance number. Like, get out of my house, Greg.
Gregory.
Yes.
Please, do not come back to my house.
This isn't me dunking on character and persona, by the way. Like, I've done it. I really enjoy doing it. Lighthouse, I really like Lighthouse. It's a good song. But I think who you see is also baked in your respect of boundaries. I think we will see a shift, have seen a shift, or are going to see a shift further and further into respecting the boundaries of the people in the public eye. I think of Chapel Roan yelling at the photographer on the red carpet. Go Chapel. We still want that authenticity because, again, a part of me that I want to put out online right now is an authentic version of me, but it's also a tailored version of me. There are things about myself that I don't feel comfortable sharing online, and I think it's important that people respect that decision for me, for other people in the field, for musicians, for creatives. I think more and more now we're seeing boundaries be understood and respected, and we should see that. We should see boundaries be respected. At the very end of my streams, I say, thank you for being here. It's because of you I can do what I like to do, and this is what I like to do, so thank you. I know for some people, repeating the same word or phrase just turns it into another sound and it doesn't really feel like the same thing anymore. But in music, we have a phrase that Adam Neely brought to my attention. I don't know if we coined it or whatever. Repetition legitimizes. There's a saying in jazz music or something along those lines where if you play a wrong note once, it's a mistake, but if you play it again, it's intentional. I say that at the end of my streams because it's true, and I want to repeat it so that you understand where I'm coming from. I say that at the end of my streams because, to me, that's the most true thing I can say. I truly can't do this without your help. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so it's Tuesday, April 15th. Where does that leave us? I don't have an answer for you. I am gonna just keep doing what I think makes sense. There's not really a big path for me to follow. It's not like I'm studying to be a doctor and then I do my master's and then my PhD and then I'm a doctor and then I'm gonna go work at a hospital or whatever the main step is, or I'm gonna be a garbage man and I'm gonna study the garbage and then I'm gonna do the garbage. I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. There is a bit of a worry in my mind that all of this may not happen for me. There may not be a possibility for music streaming and making videos to be the outcome of my life. There's no path for me to follow. There's a bunch of people that I look up to as inspirations for paths that they've followed, but we're all different people, so our paths are going to be our own unique paths. I said paths a lot in that sentence, huh? There's a bit of a worry that I have that all of this may not happen. Like, I may not be able to sustainably keep doing music, content, and streaming, and I'll have to resort to doing something else, which, you know what? If that's the way that life goes, that's the way that life goes. I can't stress about things I can't control. Or at least I have to tell myself that I can't stress about things that I can't control. I'm going to keep doing this until I can't do this anymore. What that looks like, I don't know. And I'm trying to keep it light and upbeat because, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a possibility that this doesn't work out. That's definitely on the table. But isn't that also on the table for other careers? Like, how many teachers studied and went through teachers college and then had to do something else because teaching just didn't work out? Sometimes that's just how life is. Because ultimately, I am excited about the future. I have a bunch of things planned that I'm excited for, and I'm looking forward to writing new songs and making new videos and doing all of this stuff because I enjoy doing it. And life should be something that you enjoy, right? Life should be fun. There's a speech that Jim Carrey did, and opinions about Jim Carrey aside, I think the speech is kind of relevant, and I'll bring it all the way back, so just hang on a second, where he talks about his dad and how he wanted to be a stand-up comedian but ended up becoming an accountant and then losing his job anyway. And the moral of the story was you should fail at something that you want to do as opposed to failing at something that you don't want to do. And I think that is a really, really interesting and valid point. The idea of doing something you want to do because you want to do it. It should kind of be that simple, no? So I have no idea what I'm doing, but I gotta be kind of honest here. I don't know if anyone really knows 100% what they're doing. We all think that we know what we're doing and figure it out as we go along. There's a bit of a uncertainty with life. Of course there is. No one has been in your shoes and done the things that you've done in the same way. And sort of going off of what Jim Carrey said, there's a Jay Schlatt quote off of his The Weekly Slap comment reply show that he does, where someone asked him what his advice was about making content and making videos. And he told them, quit, just quit. But if you keep watching, he goes on to say that if the idea of someone telling you to quit is something that you want to fight against, then keep going. The idea that if you still have that drive, still have that focus, that desire to keep doing something, even if someone tells you that you should stop doing it, then you should keep doing it. The notion that, yes, you can get other people's advice, but at the end of the day, if you don't have that drive, that mindset, that grind set, that hustle set in your body to keep going on to do the things that you want to do, then you should quit. And I think it's a bit of a harsh way of saying it. He does have a point when he says, if you don't have that internal drive to keep doing the things that you think you want to do, then reevaluate what you want to do. And reevaluating and changing and growing is a part of life. It's a part of understanding who you are. And if you decide that you want to do something and then you do it for a couple of years and realize that you don't like it, that's fine. You've just learned something about yourself. And then you can take it and move it and groove it and go on. Humans are like rivers. They ebb and they flow and they're fluid and all of that. I think that mistakes are natural and people have to make mistakes to learn and grow from them. But the important thing is learning and doing better and growing from it, not saying that you're sorry and then just doing the same thing over again. There's a growth aspect to growing up. So to kind of respond to Jay Schlatt and the notion that Jim Carrey's dad's career was talking about, I'm going to keep doing this. I just love to do this. I really enjoy making music and content and streaming, and I would love for it to become something that I can sustainably do. If circumstances change, then that's okay. I'm trying to balance the positive, optimistic outlook with the possibility of a different reality occurring. That's all it is. So it's like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but also I have no idea what I'm doing, and that's going to be fun. That's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's really anxiety inducing to be like, I have no idea what's going on in the future. I have no idea what's going on. But also, does anyone? Like, I don't know about you, but I've been through so many unprecedented times that the unprecedented times are now the precedent. And then also, somewhere in there is the notion that we get caught up in the destination and not the journey. Part of growing is the grow part. It's not just the grew. The person that I am right now is not as anxious as I have been or will be. So when I say that it's about the process, that's something that I will ebb and flow with when it comes to my comfortability with it. But I think that we get caught up a lot of the times with the destination and the explanation and the final conclusion. But just like with music, there's also so much fun and learning and excitement with the process, with the changes, with the growth, with the time spent. I think there's a lot of people with the fight to find their purpose, and that's very admirable. But I think we should also remember that sometimes the process of finding your purpose is also the purpose. And that's just as good. There's definitely like a boardroom, it's all about finding the balance quote in here too, but there's also like some reality to that stupid office boardroom talk. Looking to the future of my content, music, and streaming for a second, and that's kind of the whole point of this video, the thing that I definitely struggle with is being authentic while trying to promote yourself. I think a lot of people, especially up-and-coming content creators, have this weird duality between wanting to promo themselves and being authentic, because it feels kind of ingenuine and kind of scammy. I'm not sure if that's the right word. There's ways to go about it that are genuine and authentic while still being kind of self-promo-y, and I'm really still trying to figure that out. It's something that I'm not super comfortable with, this promotion aspect, this how to draw attention to yourself without it being corporate and weird and odd and uncomfortable. Because for me, I think that there's an authenticity that I'm really trying to focus on. I've talked about this in class and with my friends as well about networking, and there's a weird like manipulation of your friends kind of aspect to networking that I really don't enjoy, because I like my friends and there seems to be like a weird capitalistic gonna get one up on the other person because I'm better than they are aspect to that. I don't know if I'm just talking out my butt right now, but there's a weird like manipulation of your friends when it comes to networking that I don't enjoy. And I kind of get the same feeling when it comes to the self-promotion side of content. There's a weird like manipulation of the audience in a way. There's something about self-promotion that really makes me uncomfortable because I want to do it as authentically as possible, and something about being authentic while trying to promote something has a pushback on it. So I struggle with it, which could also be the reason that some of my things don't do as well as they could have, like my music, for example. It could be doing so much better if I pushed it to certain places and in certain faces and whatever, but at the same time, that doesn't resonate with me the same way as word of mouth, as talking about it on stream, as a casual conversation. There's something different there. That's one of the things I struggle with, that pushback between being authentic and then trying to get out there in the internet and self-promo, if you will. And I'm still figuring it out. I'm sure we all are. I've had my good videos. I've had my bad videos. I've had my videos that I've scrapped entirely. I've had, video ideas that I think could have gone better, or video ideas that surprised the heck out of me that did really well. And that's kind of the nature of these things. I recently watched Mogswamp's 10 years of his Superflat world, and he talked about his process from being a high school student to then being in university and doing his art degree. And it really resonated with me. I just finished my second year of my 4-year degree, and he's someone that's quite inspirational because he's doing things now, even though he went through school and had to put a pause on the amount of content that he was able to make. It's just something nice to sit with, that it's still possible. And then another video that I really, really enjoy, and rather another artist that I really, really enjoy, is Dodie. They made a video about ranking their 20s, and I loved it so much because it's just one of those things that puts time into perspective. There should be something unthreatening and non-scary about the process of aging. 30 shouldn't be terrifying. 40 shouldn't be terrifying. But it is. Not me being a little freaked out after saying 40 isn't terrifying. Okay. So how do I wrap up this entire video? I don't know. Right now, I'm at an intersection between so many different things. The state of the world, creating art, writing songs, school, personal life, all of it. It all interconnects and relates to one another. My mental health, my perspectives on life, the state of the freaking whatever it is. I'm going to keep creating. I think that's what it comes down to. And I'm just going to figure it out one day at a time. 10 years on YouTube is a reflection of all the time that has passed, a chance to look forward in hope, and just a saying that I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to keep doing things that I think make sense for me and what I want to do in the future, just as we all are. We're all doing what we think makes the most amount of sense. I think that's kind of the best way to leave it. There's a saying that I've been thinking about for a little while, and it's a boat is safe at harbor, but that's not what boats are for. And there's a lot of things that I can do in my comfort zone that make me feel comfortable. And there's a lot of things that I'm going to do and will be doing and am doing that will push me out of my comfort zone and make me try new things. That's what life is kind of about, I think. There's a lot that 10 years on YouTube has made me think about. There's a lot of intersectional things that happen between, the state of the world and then creation and then me personally and then school and the future and the present and day to day. And there's so many things that push and pull and intersect and relate to one another that really reflect 10 years of YouTube. Because me 10 years ago didn't think the same way that I do now. And that's fine. And that's good. We all change, just so long as we remember all the people that we used to be. In a weird way to kind of end the video, it's really not that deep. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing and commenting and being a part of this little community that I have fostered. Just for sake of numbers and tracking things, Ian the Music has 416 subscribers. Ian the Music Live has 73. Twitch has 194 followers. And my Spotify has 27 monthly listeners, which is really cool. Every video that I mentioned in this video, as well as all of my socials and other links, are all in the description. And I want to thank you so much for being here and watching this video and taking time out of your day to watch this. And as I say on Twitch, thank you for being here. It's because of you I can do what I like to do, and this is what I like to do. So thank you. That's life, baby. My name is Ian Azio. Thank you for watching.